Assalamu alaikum students. We would start our video with the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tuassir wa tammim bil khair. So this video is designed for the quiz competition of Pakistan Studies and the subject code is 2059 and this competition is of Unit 3 Term 2 of O1 and the contents are comprised of chapter 5 and 6 of book of history and chapter 3 from the book of geography. So we would start the quiz competition and the first question is how and where did Urdu language first originated? So the answer is in northwest India when Persian, Turkish and Punjabi interacted with local dialects. So as we all know that in subcontinent the people of the army comprised of different people from the localities of different areas. So when those people interacted with the local people of the subcontinent, then new words were generated and these words combined to form an Urdu language. Second question is which Mughal emperors took interest in boosting in Urdu? So there were two Mughal emperors who worked hard for boosting Urdu language. The first one was Muhammad Shah and the second one was Bahadur Shah Zafar. So the next question is who translated Quran in Urdu, and the answer is Shah Abdul Qadir. The next question, which language was being protected by Muslim League for Muslims? The answer is Urdu because Indian National Congress was only interested in promoting Hindi language. So All India Muslim League decided to make their aim to protect Urdu language for the Muslims. So the question number 5 is name some of the important poets of Urdu. So there were many poets like Mir, Sauda, Dard, Ghalib and from the 20th century Allama Iqbal, Muhammad Hussain Azad and there are lots of other prominent names as well. The sixth question, which script was adopted for Sindhi language before Muslim arrival in subcontinent? So there were two types of scripts. The first one was Marwari and the other one was Ars Nagari. The seventh question, which language have great impact on Sindhi language? So the answer is Arabic, Persian. These both have impact on Sindhi language. The next question, name some of the famous poets and writers of Sindhi language. So here are some names like Qazi Kazan, Somro, Sachal Sarmast, Shah Abdul Latif Bhatai. Which other languages are spoken in Balochistan other than Balochi? So there are two languages that are being used in Balochistan. The first one is Persian and the second one is Barohi. The 10th question, who brought the Balochi language in Balochistan? So there were some of the nomadic tribes who migrated from northwest Iran to Balochistan. So nomadic tribes are the tribes that settle in an area for a temporary time of period and with time they change their position. 11th question, name some of the famous poets of Balochi language. So Jamdara, the most important person, then Ata Shah, Ishaq Shamim, these were the famous names. Why was the Balochi Literary Society Association was set up? To publish weekly and monthly magazines in Balochi language. So this was the purpose for the promotion of the Balochi language. 13th question, what were the primitive names of Punjabi language? Means the older names of the Punjabi language. So there are three names. It was also called as Masudi, also as Al-Hindi and the other name was Hindko. Question number 14, which script was adopted by Mughals for Punjabi language? So they adopted the Arabic script for the Punjabi language. The next question, name some of the famous Punjabi folk tales. As we all have heard about three of the famous folk tales of Punjabi. This is Sassi Punnu, Soni Mahiwal and Heer Ranjha. Several documentaries, plays have been documented on these folk tales as well. The next question, name some of the Punjabi Sufi poets. So the answer is Baba Farid Kand Chakkar, Sultan Bahu. The next question, who translated Quran in Punjabi language? So the answer is Muhammad Ali Faiq. The next question, which language have their effects on Pashto language? So answer is Persian, Greek and Arabic. These three languages have their great impact on Pashto language. Who led the academy for the preparation of Pashto language? So Maulana Abdul Qadir was a person who had a major role in working in an academy for the promotion of Pashto language and for the preparation of Pashto dictionary as well. Name some famous poets of Pashto language. So the answer is Bayazid Ansari, Saadat Ali Khan, Amir Muhammad Ansari, Khushal Khan Khattak. Which language is being spoken most by Pakistani nationals? So answer is Punjabi because it takes about 48% of the total share of the languages that are being spoken in Pakistan. When was Indian National Congress formed? In 1883. The next question, 23rd question. How was the Bengal province partitioned in 1905? Actually, it was partitioned in two parts. The first part was East Bengal. It had Muslim majority and Hindu minority. It was associated with Assam and three other provinces that were previously the part of West Bengal. So the second part was West Bengal. In West Bengal, there was Hindu majority and Muslim minority. 24th question. What were the Muslims' view on partition of Bengal? They were delighted as their position would gain recognition, they would get escape from Hindu oppression and gain back the trust of British. The next question. What were Hindu views on partition of Bengal? Hindus totally opposed the decision as it was attempt to weaken their position and call for the reforms. The next question. What was Swadeshi movement? So as a result of partition of Bengal, Hindus launched a Swadeshi movement. It was the boycott of the goods like salt, cloth or any manufactured thing that was from the British side. What steps British took to win Indian support after Bengal partition? So they introduced Molly Minto reforms to accept the Indians' demands for an increased share in the government. When and why partition of Bengal was reversed? In 1911, the partition of Bengal was reversed, and the reason was the widespread opposition and massive protest from the Bengali Hindus. What is the significance of Lucknow Pact that was carried in 1916? So it was the first pact that developed cooperation between All India Muslim League and Indian National Congress against British and their ways of governing India. The 30th question. Which were the leaders who drew the Lucknow Pact? So basically from All India Muslim League, Muhammad Ali Jinnah was the leader, and from Congress, Mahajan was the leader. They both worked together to draw the Lucknow Pact. What was the purpose of Montego-Chelmsford reforms? So the main purpose was that legislative councils will have majority of members that would be elected by electorates, and Muslim and Sikh would be given the separate electorates. But one thing they did was that they kept the real powers to themselves, means in order to choose any law, in order to pass any law, all the representation was still held by the British Viceroy. What was the reaction of Indian people on Montego-Chelmsford reforms? So the reforms were unacceptable from the Hindu side, from the Indian side as well, because they said that these are inadequate, these are unsatisfactory and disappointing as well, because they are not given the real supreme powers. The question number 33 is, what was the Rowlatt Act introduced? So it was introduced in order to investigate any revolutionary activity that is being carried in India. What was the Amritsar massacre? The next question. And the answer is General Dyer of British ordered his troops to open fire on unarmed crowd gathered illegally in the park of Amritsar for peaceful demonstrations. So a lot of casualties were there, about 400 people were killed, and there were a lot of injuries in a greater number. The next question. When were Delhi reforms proposals introduced? So these were introduced in 1927 in the leadership of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. What were the aims of Delhi proposals? So the main aims were that Sindh should be given provisional status, Muslims should have 1/3 seats in the legislative councils. As we all know that according to population they were about 1/4 in the subcontinent, but they demanded for the 1/3 seats in the legislative councils. And the next point was that all British reforms should be extended to NWFP and Balochistan. In Punjab and Bengal, Muslims should have representation according to their population. How many types of natural resources are there? So now we have shifted to the chapter 3 of geography. So there are two types of natural resources. The first one is renewable resources and the other one is non-renewable resources. 38. What are renewable resources? the resources which we can reuse, recycle, and they would not run out with time. So there are further two categories. The first one is continuous, like water, sunlight, wind power, and tidal power. The second category is sustainable, like vegetation, fish, soils, etc., because these are the things that we can sustain for future as well. What are non-renewable sources? These are the sources that are in limited quantity, and if we keep on using them, they would run out over the time. For example, fossil fuels, minerals, metallic and non-metallic both. What are the two main river system of Pakistan? The first one is the Indus system and the other one is rivers of Balochistan. Question number 41. From where Indus river system gets water? And the answer is by the glaciers of Hindu Kush and Karakoram crossing Himalayas through deep gorge. Question number 42 is what are the eastern tributaries of river Indus? So the answer is Sutlej, Ravi, Chenab and Jhelum. And the next question asks about the western tributaries of Indus River. So the answer is Swat, Kabul, Tochi, Kuram and Gomal. Question number 44 is what are the fluctuations in water table relative to weather? So we all know that the level of the water table rises in the monsoon period in the rainy season, and when rainy season is over, the level of the water table lowers. Question number 45 is what are the domestic uses of water? So we all know that we use water in drinking, cooking, washing and sanitation on the domestic level. And state for some of the industrial uses of water that are as we all know, hydroelectric power stations for the generation of electricity, then thermal stations again for generation of electricity, food processing industries are there, then chemical industries are there, textile industries are there that use a lot of water. Question number 47. What are the conventional system of irrigation in Pakistan? So these are some of the names that are Shadoof, Charsa, Persian wheel, Kares, inundation canals, tank irrigation. What are the Kares system? Where the Kares system of irrigation is used in Pakistan? So it is used in many areas of Balochistan. The next question is what are the modern system of irrigation used in Pakistan? So these are the perennial canals, tube wells, sprinklers and tankers. So the 50th question is what are the advantages of replacing a Persian wheel with the tube well? So tube well irrigates a vast area, it supplies continuous water, it also lowers the level of the water table, it requires no labor, no animal forces is required in working with the tube well as in Persian wheel. Question number 51. Pakistan got the rights of which rivers under the Indus Water Treaty? So, according to the Indus Water Treaty, Pakistan got the right of western tributaries of River Indus, that is Indus, Jhelum, and Chenab. And India got the rights of which rivers under Indus Water Treaty? So, it got the right of eastern tributaries of River Indus, that is Ravi, Beas, and Sutlej. What are the main features of Mangla Dam? So it is located on river Jhelum. It is the longest earth-filled dams in the world. It generates HEP. And what are the main features of Tarbela Dam? Built on river Indus, and it is the largest earth-filled dam, and it has two big spillways with 9 huge gates to control the flow of water. Question number 55. What are the features of small dams? So as we all know that they irrigate only a local area, they supply little or no electricity, means they are not of much use for HEP development, and silting problem is easier to solve. That's a good thing about a small dam. Their construction time is also less, but they are less important for the control of flood because they have less reservoir area. Now the next question is what are the features of large dams? So they irrigate vast area. They are the good suppliers of hydroelectric power stations for the generation of electricity. The silting problem is difficult to solve in them. They need a lot of construction time and a lot of investment as well. But they are very good when there are the warnings of the floods. So they control floods better. Question number 57 is what are the causes of siltation? So when the mountains erode, then siltation occurs. Deforestation is also a cause. The next cause is rivers from narrow deep valleys in the mountain areas. What are the effects of siltation? So they block the canals, they also weak the foundation of the dams, they also reduce water capacity of the dam because most of the dams gets filled with the silts, and it also affects the hydroelectric power station for the development of electricity because they don't provide the good flow of water due to siltation problem. How the siltation problem can be controlled. So in this question we have to tell the solutions to control the siltation problem. So afforestation means growing more and more forest. So, and the embankment of canals with the cement, and the installation of silt traps, so the traps would silt would get trapped in that. And then raising height of dams so that we could increase the storage area of the dams. The next question is the 60th one, and the question is, what is waterlogging and salinity? So the rise of water table to the surface is called waterlogging, and when water evaporates, it leaves behind the salty patches on the land on the surface, that is called salinity. What are the solutions of waterlogging and salinity? So first we can do is we can line the canals so that we can control the water slippage. We can install tube wells. The next is planting eucalyptus trees, and then the surface drains so that they would lower the level of the water table as well. What are the international water conflicts faced by Pakistan? So, impact of Indus Water Treaty 1960, violation of Indus Water Treaty by India. These were the factors that had the conflicts of Pakistan over international level. So this is the next question, that is 63. Which provinces of Pakistan have conflicts over water? So the first conflict is between Punjab and KPK, because they have a conflict over building Kalabagh Dam. And then the next conflict is between Punjab and Sindh. They have also concerns over building of Kalabagh Dam, because both these provinces think that building of Kalabagh Dam would only benefit Punjab, and they would further reduce the quantity or the flow of water to their respective provinces. The question number 64 is, give an example of violation of Indus Water Treaty by India. So the answer is building of Bagliha Dam on River Chenab. So they violated the Indus Water Treaty by building this dam. 65th question, what are the user-based water conflicts in Pakistan? So agricultural practices consume 70% water in Pakistan. Then there comes industrial sector that uses 20% Pakistan. So for the user, only 10% water is left. So it's inadequate for the drinking purposes, for the domestic purposes as well. So these are the conflicts they face. So this was all about the quiz of unit 3 of O1. So prepare well, and we would have a quiz competition shortly. Allah Hafiz and thank you.